Hello again, my name is Eric and it's journaling time once again. And today we're concluding with a three-part series of this little journaling prompts that we started in the last few. So the first one was gratitude to yourself. So we were just focusing on things that we were grateful for or thankful for of ourselves. Video 2 was why are we grateful for our family and the extended family and all that kind of good stuff. So we have to kind of balance it out now. We can't just stay on the good side. So today's prompt, we're going to be focusing on what is our worst attribute? What is our worst trait? What would we need to fix the most? So when we're doing this, we're not going to write affirmations in this one because we don't want to reinforce this trait. What I want you to do is identify your worst trait and identify the impact it's having on your life in all forms. Maybe it's waking up late, maybe not going to the gym, and how is it impacting? And try and be as detailed and as vivid and break down all the potential effects that this behavior could have. We want to identify it because when we identify it and we can see the results of it and the weight it carries, it becomes an easier something to avoid. It becomes an easier deterrent. We don't want to go that way. And then we can replace it with something positive. We can start to redirect ourselves. So one thing I want to mention when we're journaling, I haven't mentioned the last two, when you're journaling, remember, the general guidelines that kind of apply to all journaling prompts or all journaling in general is don't worry about what you're going to write, don't worry about spelling, don't worry about format. We want to remove the shackles and just kind of get the raw energy, right? The raw ideas or the raw consciousness flowing. That's why I always recommend have a fast pen. So I use a gel pen, a 1 millimeter diameter pen, and it allows me to write fast. It'll, without having to get caught up because the pen is moving slow, and it impedes my writing and it impedes my thoughts. I want the thoughts to flow because that's kind of how I'm tapping into whatever I'm pulling out, whatever the prompt is directing. Hope that makes sense. So today we're working on focusing on what is one of our worst attributes. And we want to flesh it out, be descriptive on how it affects all attributes of your life and even people. We want to really make a clear picture of this. All right, let's get to work, everybody. Oh, before we start, let me remind you, please subscribe to the channel, like, share, comment. Leave some comments on what kind of prompt or any ideas you want to see in the future. I'd love to hear from you guys. If you need a new journaling book, like the ones you saw in the opening intro, please follow the link in the description. And it's nice if you have those books because then they'll kind of be timed with these videos because I'm using the same book. So once one page is up, no mas, we finish. All right, let's get to work, everybody. All right, so first things first, location, mood, all right, date, and time. And as an added reminder, I've been reminding on this little series we've been doing, when you're journaling, try and enjoy the ritual, the ceremony of it. So have your space set up, have your beverage you like, make sure you're not going to be distracted. Somewhere where you start to build a routine and you start to build like a, it's a ceremony when you go there. It helps you get into that state of mind much easier. You feel comfortable, you write better, you get a better session, you get more out of the process. And remember too, this is the slice of time that you give back to yourself, where you're going to hear your own thoughts before you do anything else in the day, which probably with most people encompasses giving with other people or giving energy to other people and working with other people. So this is a time where you give back to yourself. All right, enough talk. So remember, what is your worst attribute? Flush it out. How does it impact your life? How does it impact other people? Just be as detailed as you can. All right, enjoy the process, everybody. That was actually very interesting. Yeah, that was very interesting. It's something that happened to me many times in journaling, and once again, the power of journaling. I was writing and I was focusing on a poor attribute that I have, and I was describing how it affects parts of my life and affects me and how I deal with it on a daily basis, because it's literally something that I've known about and I'm getting better at now honing it in. But as I was journaling on it, I kind of ended up in a new territory in thought. And as I saw it for what it was doing on the whole, in terms of how it's making me feel in the long term, or the daily way I feel if I just if I let this poor attribute go on, I realized that it's really ridiculous. And I can see the connection. And by being aware of it, it's, wait a minute, why am I allowing this to happen? Why am I allowing this one poor attribute affect me so greatly? And I'm constantly at odds with it and wrestling with it. Once again, as I was writing, it became more and more clear. And you never know when it's going to happen. So it's very important that you allow yourself the space to reflect and write in any direction. That's why it's important to not worry about spelling, format, or grammar, because it's like a hose. It's kind of like spouting like this. You have a little bit of control, but if you hold too tight, you're going to kill the creativity. You're going to kill the flow. So you have to kind of balance it out. But now, the attribute that I thought was my biggest thing, as I was writing on, it's like, it's ridiculous. Why am I letting this happen? But this is how we grow. This is how we evolve. And with the intangible things, the behaviors, it's not something we can go by. You know, I would hope normally we don't want to just take a medication or a pill to try and erase it, or at least blind it for a certain amount of time. The best way is to become aware of the behavior, which is a program somewhere in our consciousness that got encoded. And sometimes things get encoded for odd reasons, or for reasons that weren't intended, good and bad. So by being aware of it, we can circumvent it, and or we start to delete it and put a new behavior in. This is how we change and evolve and become the people we want to become. And really the key under all this journaling stuff and all the different things and the ways we can use it, it puts us in charge of ourselves. Little by little, we become more and more the captain of our own vessel. And as we get older and older and we have more responsibilities, this becomes more and more important and more and more valuable. This is why I think it's so important for people to start journaling at a young age, and hence why I put journaling into the book I'm writing for students. It's something you can keep with you your whole life, and you can use it again in many different ways. I won't keep reiterating it. So I hope you enjoyed everything. Please like, share, comment, all the good stuff. If you need a journal book, please grab one. There's 4 flavors up there. Help support the channel. And remember, enjoy the process. Take care, everybody. See you next time.